Hello students, we are continuing in the second part of our lecture, that is requisites of communication and why we need communication. As we have seen in our earlier part that communication is very important in any person's life. See, we are seeing how the human being is making communication. As a child, we have seen that child communicates first with the mother. Then he learns the language, utters some words, socialization of the child and linguistic socialization of the child takes place in the due course of time. Then schooling is the first socializing that he socializes with other people, okay, and these people definitely all gets communicated to the child. He becomes much more socialized and the social interaction takes place through the communication. So if we go through the communication process, we will understand that oral communication is playing most of the part, and oral communication is very important. It's very flexible, and that is what it tops the priority in oral communication. We, of course, we can compare and contrast with the written communication. Oral communication, why oral communication gets the priority? Because since oral communication is made without any so called training of written communication. For written communication, we need to write. We have to get the training, okay, how to write the words, how to write alphabet, how to write मुळाक्षरं कशी लिहायची, काय लिहायचं, कसं लिहायचं, याची आपल्याला ट्रेनिंग घ्यावी लागते. पण सर्वात पहिले लहान बाळ हे बोलायला शिकतं. म्हणून ओरल कम्युनिकेशन, तोंडी ओरल कम्युनिकेशनला प्रायोरिटी आहे, प्रथम स्थान आहे, प्राधान्य आपण त्याला देत असतो. दुसरा महत्त्वाचा भाग का ओरल कम्युनिकेशनमध्ये कुठलंही ग्रामर असण्याची काही गरज नाही, पण रिटन कम्युनिकेशनमध्ये ग्रामर मात्र पाहावं लागतं. म्हणून रिटन कम्युनिकेशनला खूप रिक्वायरमेंट आहे, त्याचं ट्रेनिंग असलं पाहिजे, त्याचं ग्रामर आपल्याला क्लिअर व्यवस्थित समजलेलं पाहिजे, चांगलं वापरता येतं तरच ते शक्य आहे. बट इन ओरल कम्युनिकेशन an illiterate person can utter, म्हणजे निरक्षर व्यक्तीसुद्धा चांगल्या पद्धतीने संभाषण करून बोलून आपला संदेश देत असतो. दैनंदिन कामं तशी अनेक होतात. पण रिटन कम्युनिकेशन हे सुशिक्षित माणसालाच येत असतं. त्याला लिहिता येत असेल, ट्रेनिंग घेतलं असेल, शाळेमध्ये शिकलं असेल, देन अँड देअर आफ्टर ही कॅन गेट द रिटन written skills. So that is what oral communication gets the priority. There is no grammatical rules that are followed. Okay, see, it's flexible, it's audible, it's free of cost. Oral communication. While written communication, we need pen, we need a paper, we need all those material that makes us to write. It is consuming. So we need to understand all these aspects of our communication. So communication is very much important. We can exploit this communication. Exploit communication, जास्तीत जास्त त्या स्किलचा वापर करणं. You know, Harsha Bhogle, you may know that Harsha Bhogle is a cricket commentator. You know, he is an engineer by profession, but engineer, and what he is doing in cricket field, he is commentator, because he know cricket well and he know how to tell what is happening in a good English. See, so Harsha Bogle is a good communicator. That is what he has been there. Otherwise, he would not be there. There are other examples we can take. We have the star of the millennia, and the star of millennium is Amitabh Bachchan. Why Amitabh Bachchan is there? What do see his strong voice and his exposure of his body, exposure of his sound quality, and acting. Acting itself is communication. त्याला आपण आपल्या हातवारे, चेहरे, हावभाव, पूर्ण शरीराचा वापर करून कम्युनिकेशन करणं त्याला बॉडी लँग्वेज असं म्हटलं जातं. त्या बॉडी लँग्वेजचा वापर करून कम्युनिकेशन त्या ठिकाणी होतं, म्हणून त्याला आपण गुड कम्युनिकेटर म्हणतो. म्हणून वेल नोन स्टार ऑफ मिलेनियम इज नॉट अ सिंपल थिंग. So Amitabh Bachchan is the star that we need. So communication is very important part in our life. Communication in the history. As we have seen, communication over the years, we have seen the things that are used, the things that are often used, the sticks are used, the birds, pigeons are used, okay. At the same time, other communication mediums were used in the history, and all these parts that we see, we have is the first and foremost tools that were used in the history. Later on, the markings that we have seen, and these markings definitely project us. These markings project us that it is there, it is always there. It's in the form of a writing. This is the beginning of the writing. The pictures made by him to communicate his thoughts and views on the walls of the caves is the first written communication that we see. All these elements that we see are part and parcel of our communication. What is the need of this communication? Communication is useful to obtain a good quality job. Communication is important for everyone now these days. A management professional, a technician, a sailor, a worker, he is to be a communicator first. And that is what, in what way this communication, just passing information to an unknown person doesn't mean a communication. Communication stands for the person who is ready to listen to you. If a person speaking with the moon is not a communication. Moon is an inanimate thing. A person who is speaking to himself is not a communication. So there should be a listener. So communication cycle is to be thought over, and this communication cycle do have communication elements. These two are interlinked. So there should be the message sender by any means, by use of hands, by use of words, by use of language, by anything. We have communication elements, speaker. He communicates means by using certain media. Suppose I wish to communicate with you, I am using language as a medium. Language is used, language is put in the message form, it's passed on from me to you, to the listener. Language is communicated with the listener. So language is used. At the same time, when communication passes through, it is understood. The speaker who who thinks as knowledge or information, views and opinions that is stored in his mind. A concept is stored in his mind. Information is stored in his mind. The speaker, the concept is formulated in the speaker's brain. And for the concept, in a few seconds, the entire process takes place. He puts in the message form, encodes in the message form, it passed on through the proper medium to the listener. Listener, whatever medium that the sender has sent the message, tries to decode it. Decode, understanding करून घेणं, समजून घेणं. भाषा, भाषेचे शब्द, भाषेचे शब्दांमधील असलेला संदेश, त्याचा अर्थ लावण्याचं काम ऐकणारा जो व्यक्ती आहे तो करत असतो. इट्स अ वन वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. बट देर इज अनदर वे. वी हॅव कम्युनिकेटेड, नो डाऊट, पण त्याला पोचलं का हे आपल्याला खात्री होत नाही. जोपर्यंत आपल्याला खात्री होत नाही की मी दिलेला संदेश त्याला पोचलेला आहे, तोपर्यंत कम्युनिकेशन झालं नाही असा त्याचा अर्थ होतो. आणि म्हणून आपण सांगितलेलं दुसऱ्याला पोचलं आहे, समजलं आहे असा फीडबॅक आपल्याला आवश्यक आहे. म्हणून कम्युनिकेशनचा दुसरा मार्ग म्हणजे जो ऐकणारा होता तो आता आपल्याला सांगेल का मला समजलं, मला मेसेज पोचला. इट्स अ फीडबॅक. आणि मग तो अशा वेळेस ऐकणारा जो होता तो बोलणारा बनतो, आपण बोलणार होतो, आपण ऐकणारे तयार होतो. आपण ऐकणारे होतो. अँड इट्स अनदर सायकल, another way of communication, that is second way of communication. That is what communication is, a two-way process. But when the message is transferred from the sender to the listener, there is a noise that always plays its crucial role on the media, on the message itself. So the message gets confused. When I'm speaking right to you, there may be some technical snags, some other sounds I'm making. So it's a noise, and this noise plays its role in impeding the communication process. So in general, we can say what are the communication elements: speaker, media, message, and listener, feedback, and noise. So these 6 elements are essential elements of communication. So each has its own role to play. The listener should be attentive to listen, who should be listened carefully. So we have this particular type of, say, communication. Again, if we go through communication skills in English, communication is very important, as I told you. The importance in the sense, now these days we are turning towards the modern changing world. English is very important for us. All the commerce and trade activities, the English language is used. As the day go by, English is certainly going to take its own course. The new national education policy has been introduced. This national policy implies the things. Okay, so we have the communication, and this communication is of course very important. So the days are changing, we should be ready to face the challenges of the modern world. So we had to adopt English at a crucial time. Once the days are gone for forever. These years of your life are your remarkable years, crucial years, in the sense whatever investment that you are going to make in these years, the same returns will be benefited later on. So, in English communication, what we knew, what we need, the need for English communication are grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary. The three aspects are very crucial for the command over English. Grammar, for communicating in a proper language in a correct way, the use of grammar is very important. Then pronunciation, we need to pronounce these words. Vocabulary, vocabulary needs to be uttered. Pronunciation means a correct use of utterance. शब्दांचं pronunciation clear असावं, स्पष्ट असावं, that what we see are to be understood by others. So pronunciation and vocabulary. Words in English communication, words are to be uttered, but for the proper meaning, for the proper use of say context, proper words needs to be used. That is what we need to understand, the proper use of words. Okay, so like this we have this type of communication and we have to understand them. So with these words, again we have studied what are the requisites, importance, need and requisites of communication. I think we are going to say dedicate some of the time on these aspects of our say subject. Okay, see you again in next lecture. Thank you.